For thousands of years, the world has been shaped not only by people and ideas but by empires. Great, sprawling civilizations built from conquest, commerce, and ideology. Some ruled with wisdom, others, with steel. All believed they would last forever. But none of them did. This is the story of humanity's greatest empires, from their dramatic rise to their inevitable fall. It begins where so many empires have an ambition. The Roman Empire was not born in a day, nor did it rise from conquest alone. At first, it was a republic, a modest power in the shadow of Greece and Carthage. But its ambition grew with every battle, every alliance, every betrayal. After centuries of expansion, Rome stood as the master of the Mediterranean. Roads stretched like arteries from Britain to Egypt. Law, architecture, and Latin culture flourished. At its peak, Rome was not just a city, but a world. But the cracks appeared from within. Corruption hollowed the Senate. Inflation weakened the economy. Barbarian invasions rattled the frontiers. And when Rome finally fell in 476 AD, it was not with a bang but with a slow, aching crumble that left a continent in darkness. Centuries later, on the windswept steppes of Central Asia, a new storm gathered. The Mongol Empire, led by Genghis Khan, rose with terrifying speed. United under one banner, Mongol horsemen swept across Asia with a brutal efficiency history had never seen. Cities that resisted were turned to ash. Those who submitted became tributaries. But the Mongols were more than conquerors. They established the Silk Road safety, linked civilizations from Beijing to Baghdad, and enabled the largest land empire in human history. Yet empires built on speed cannot always stand still. After Genghis' death, the empire fractured into khanates. Loyalty gave way to rivalry, and though the Mongol legacy lived on, the empire itself faded into history. Before the Mongols, before even Rome, there was Persia, the Achaemenid Empire, funded by Cyrus the Great. Persia became the first superpower of the ancient world. It championed religious tolerance, advanced governance, and engineering marvels. The royal road connected cities across thousands of miles. Its rule stretched from India to Greece. But Persia's enemies did not sleep. When Darius faced the Greeks at Marathon, when Xerxes marched on Thermopylae, the West pushed back. Eventually, the empire fell to Alexander the Great, and the sun set on the world's first empire of empires. In the shadow of Constantinople, a new force emerged centuries later, the Ottomans. Born from the ashes of the Seljuk Turks, the Ottoman Empire conquered Byzantium and transformed Constantinople into Istanbul. Their military prowess, embodied by the Janissaries, was matched by architectural wonders like the Blue Mosque. For centuries, they ruled the crossroads of Europe and Asia. But as the world changed, the empire stagnated. Nationalist uprisings, foreign intervention, and the shock of World War I shattered what remained. In 1922, the Ottoman Sultanate was abolished. The empire that once ruled 3 continents was no more. While the Ottomans reigned in the east, another empire was rising from a small island nation, the British Empire. Fueled by naval dominance and industrial might, Britain claimed lands on every continent. The sun never sets on the British Empire, they once said, and for a time, it was true. From India to Canada, from the Caribbean to Australia, British rule brought railroads and revolutions, exports and exploitation. At its peak, it governed nearly a quarter of the world's population. But with that dominance came resentment. The thirst for independence ignited fires across the colonies. India broke free, Africa followed, and, after the world wars drained Britain of its strength, the empire slowly let go. It did not collapse overnight, but eroded, piece by piece, until only echoes remained. Finally, in the 20th century, a new kind of empire emerged, not built on territory, but on ideology. The Soviet Union, forged in revolution. The USSR was a colossus of steel, propaganda, and dreams of equality. It defeated fascism, launched the first satellite into space, and cast a long shadow across the Cold War. But beneath the grandeur lay repression, economic stagnation, and growing unrest. When the Berlin Wall fell, it wasn't just a physical collapse, it was the unraveling of an idea. In 1991, The Soviet Union dissolved, the red flag came down, and the empire vanished. Each of these empires believed they would endure forever. Each of them changed the world. But they all fell not just from enemy swords or revolutions, but from their own success. Power breeds complacency, glory blinds wisdom, greatness demands humility. And history, as it always does, moves on. The lesson is simple: no empire is eternal, but their stories live on in the roads we walk, the languages we speak, the ideas we debate, and perhaps, one day, someone will tell our story too. The story of what we built and what we became.